everyone. First of all, let me just apologize for my voice. I woke up like this yesterday and it's super cracky and sometimes it goes out, so I apologize in advance. Well, today we are going to be creating some task cards on Google Slides that can be used digitally. So last week we created these task cards that you can print out and you can, use these in your class, but you can't really use these if you are doing distance learning. So today I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily transform these into a Google slide so you can use these and send these to your kids so they can do these online. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure you have opened up your Create With Me task from last week. And then you're going to go up to File, Export. Excuse me. I'm going to put mine on my desktop. So I'm going to call these task cards. Excuse me. I'm going to change the file format to PNG. And I'm going to save every slide. And I do suggest making this a little bit bigger because the dimensions that it gives you may be smaller than these. If it gives you the option to make these bigger, like 1000 to 1294, I do suggest doing that because sometimes when you make things too small, it gets really blurry. PowerPoint doesn't do a very good job of saving things if they're too small. So we're going to export all of these slides and we're turning them into images and we're putting them in a folder on our desktop. So we're going to export and then okay. Now you are going to turn this into a digital file. So go to your Google Drive and create a blank slide. When this opens up, you are going to, I think it's format, maybe not. Let's go to File, and there we go, File Page Setup. We're going to change to our custom 8.5 by 11 because that matches the first task cards that we did on PowerPoint. I'm going to erase everything here. And I'm going to click background because I'm going to change my background to the images I just saved. So go to choose image and I'm going to upload from that folder of images I just saved, and I think I called it task cards, yes. So slide 1 background is just going to be slide 1. I'm going to right click and duplicate this slide. And then here's slide number 2. I'm going to go change the background. I'm going to go find slide 2. Done. So you may be asking yourself, why am I doing it as the background and not just inserting it as a picture? If you insert it as a picture, the kids can grab it and they can move it around, or they can accidentally delete it. If you insert it as a background, it's going to take them a lot more to go find how to take that out as a background. So you can see I'm clicking all over the place and this thing isn't moving. And then I'm going to duplicate this slide and then I'm going to go ahead and change the third background. I am so sorry about my voice. I almost didn't do this, but then I told you guys that I would, so. Okay. Excuse me. So now I have 3 slides with task cards. And there's not much the students can do with them right now. So what I suggest is making these interactive. So you could insert a shape and you could create some circles over here that they could use as manipulatives. So I inserted a shape and I inserted a circle. I'm going to double click it and change the fill to a different color. So I'm going to make these yellow. And I'm going to copy and paste. I'm just going to put like a bunch of them on top of each other. I'm making like a pile of manipulatives. And I'm going to at least make, here's 3. So you're just going to keep doing this until you have enough so the students can fill in the boxes. So I want my students to be able to visually see how to make 10, and then I want them to be able to type it in here. So now they can, and you can even like, excuse me, you can even put a box around this. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. Tell you what, we will put in a text box and say, use these chips to help you count. Make that bigger. Center it so it looks a little nicer. So now when the kids are making 10, they can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 plus 8 equals 10. You are going to have to go in and put a text box here. I suggest going ahead and making the font bigger so when they type it, it's not going to look strange. Go ahead and center that for them. And here's another tip I have. I like changing the background so the kid knows that that is something that they could type in. So you can see that, and you can see, if you double click that, then they could put 8 equals 10. I'm going to make that a little bigger. There we go. I'm going to click that and copy and paste down here so my kid can fill this one in. I'm going to copy and make some more of these. I'm going to put all these back so it's ready for the student. Okay, so now you have an interactive slide that your kids could use. Something important that I feel like a lot of people don't realize when they're doing these is you cannot do this in present mode. If the student goes to View, Present, they're only going to see this. And when they try to click something, it's just going to go to the next slide because that's what happens in a presentation. So the really cool thing about Google Slides is that you can use them as a presentation when you need them to be a presentation, but then you can also use them as ways to assign interactive materials with your kids. So you can see here, we created manipulatives over here the kids can use to drag over. We created a text box here so they can actually type in their answers, and then when they're done, they're just going to send it back to you. How do you do that? That is a whole different tutorial, but basically you are just going to assign this in your Google Classroom. Make sure it is set to be able to be shared and edited, and make sure you make a copy for each kid. And then once they are finished with their assignment, they can just send that back to you. If you are using Google Classroom, I'm sure you've probably figured all of that out by now. But I just wanted to take a moment to show you that you can create digital versions of your non-digital products just with a few easy steps. Okay, that's all I'm going to show you for today. My voice is struggling. I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments, and I will do my best to answer those on Friday or during our next Create With Me tutorial. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day.